What is up, YouTube? This is your host, Rainy B, bringing you that homicidal tea. And today's case, it's a different case in that the blend of tea that is being brewed and spilled is a Shawshank Redemption blend type of tea. We need to cue Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman because there are some serious feel-good vibes at the ending of this story. Now, before we get into it, if this is your first time here, then welcome, and if not, then welcome back. Please click on that like and subscribe button to help grow the channel, and if you would like notifications, then definitely hit that bell button because that will let you know when I upload new videos. And if you want to share on social media like my awesome girl Angel Visits Perfect on Twitter, that helps me so much. It helps get the word out as well. So that's awesome. I will have no problem with you doing so. Now that we got all that fine print out of the way, let's get right into the solved case of Kim Ancona and the cause and effect story of Ray Krone and the fight of his life. Kim Ancona, she was a 35-year-old vivacious bartender from Phoenix, Arizona. She was stabbed and brutally murdered in the back storeroom of the bar where she worked in 1991. Now, that next morning, the bar owner discovered her body and promptly dialed 911. The cops arrived on the scene and were conducting their own investigation, questioning the owner and the other staff who may have been involved or seen someone involved or something. Well, Ray Krone, his name kept coming up. He was a frequent bar patron, and it was suggested by a number of the employees that he might be somebody they should talk to. Ray had always expressed to Kim and to others that he thought that Kim was gorgeous, and he had somewhat of a crush on her. And let's be fair here, Ray wasn't the best looking cat out there. I'm not trying to attack the guy, but he had quite the set of choppers on him. It wasn't exactly the first choice for ZZ Top wanting Ray in their marketing campaign for their song Sharp Dressed Man, if you get what I'm saying. Nevertheless, he pursued her and they continued to flirt back and forth. He would ask her out, but Kim would always rebuff him. And it wasn't ever in a mean spirit or anything, though. It was just friendly banter, seemingly. Ray shot up, though, to the top of the suspect ladder as a result of this. A bite mark was discovered on Kim's body, further pointing to Ray. On the upper front teeth, the bite mark plainly displayed a really unique bite pattern with an overbite and really misaligned front teeth. Yeah. After collecting Ray's bite impression, they observed, obviously, no shade, but damn, our boy Ray had some messed up teeth. Not only that, but his blood type was a type O. That was the type of blood that was discovered on Kim's pants. They also discovered dark hairs on Kim's body and mistakenly believed that they belonged to Ray, despite the fact that they are of Mongoloid and Ray is Caucasian. This was before DNA was really in depth and testing and all that was available. So, isn't he supposed to be the guy? I omitted to mention that the cops discovered the footprint at the scene of the crime scene was a size 9.5, and Ray, poor snaggly tooth Ray, was a 10.5 shoe wearer, but he managed to pull it off, I guess. We're certain he did because the cops told us so, right? Confirmation bias. It's a hell of a drug. Ray was immediately apprehended and prosecuted. Now, despite the fact that his shoe size is larger and all that stuff they found at the scene, his hair not being Mongoloid, his hair being Caucasian, and he had a solid alibi, which I forgot to tell you guys about. Ray was found guilty because of the prosecution's lone forensic odontologist, Dr. Raymond Rawson, who testified that the bite mark, it was Ray Krone's without a doubt. Well, on a side note, they show the bite mark on the forensic files that this was talking about. Ray Krone's bite mark on top of it, it's a multiple times they showed this. Even ignoring the snaggletooth, dude, you can tell they are not a perfect match. Ray's teeth were way wider than the original bite mark. They just didn't even line up, but whatever. I wasn't there, so I don't know. They sentenced Ray to death based on this. Now, usually that's a huge win for me. Y'all know I love me some death penalty, but in 1996, he was granted a second trial, and this time, the defense calls 3 more forensic orthodontists to testify, all of whom concur that this famous bite now is not Ray Krone's. The prosecution calls Dr. Rawson back to the stand, and he reiterates his previous evidence that it is entirely Mr. Krone's fault. Get out of here, get to your death cell. So you'd think that Ray would be absolved of this crime after 3 other forensic odontologist refuted Dr. Rawson, and that reasonable doubt about this silly bite mark would be found. No! The second jury finds him guilty again. He's sentenced to death again. While he's there, Ray starts studying the law, and he hopes that he can find a method to clear his name. I mean, the only piece of evidence that has led to the death sentence is a bite mark that is not his. Ray's luck changes in 2001 when Arizona passed a legislation allowing convicted felons to access their evidence as long as they maintain their innocence the entire time. But I mean, doesn't everyone claim they're innocent? But whatever. Ray had the evidence in his hands and the benefit of time, because DNA had since advanced tremendously in the last 9 years. He and his lawyers, they want the blood on Kim's clothes tested for DNA, and the results are in. And guess what? It's not Ray's. I know, shocking, isn't it? On the DNA, there is a match. CODIS, can we have an answer? Sure, it's Kenneth Phillips. Now, Kenneth also has a snaggletooth, and get this, he's Native American. Mongoloid. Yeah, it's just enough to make you chuckle, isn't it? He also wore a size 9.5 shoe. Oh my gosh. And he lived 600 yards away from the bar at the time. Now, Kenneth was also super cool guy. Serial sex offender, child molester, a true winner here, girls, huh? Well, he said that he committed the crime while he was inebriated. I'm sorry about that. I was a little bit drunk. During his interrogation, he stated that he awoke with blood on his hands. What happened? Well, instead of reporting it to the police, he chose to disregard it. Blood. Oops. Ray Krone, he got his wish, and he was released on April 8th, 2002, 10 years after he was sentenced to death. Now, according to reports, there was enough evidence in 1991 to place Kenneth Phillips on the police's radar for this crime, but police and prosecution, they refused to believe it. They chose to ignore it. They had someone, they chose to pursue only one guy, their guy Ray. Ray Krone did not allow his 10 years on death row to go to waste. After proving his innocence, he sued the city of Phoenix and Maricopa County in 2005, and rightly so. He received $3 million and $1.4 million in prize money. He has been a vocal proponent for the death sentence and in opposition of the death sentence, and he currently serves on the Director of Membership and Training for Witnesses of Innocence. It's a nonprofit dedicated to the abolition of the death penalty. It's hard for me to support that, but dude, I mean, Ray, come on. That's my guy, he spent all that time in prison, he didn't do it, and now it's the death penalty that he fought, and I don't know. It kind of makes me think, should I rethink my stance on the death penalty? Because this could have been bad for Ray. Oh, but, interesting side note, Ray has since had his teeth fixed on the show Extreme Makeover. Now, what's really, really cool is that I was searching on Reddit, and I was actually taught by a friend of mine named Jesse that he said, check this and you can find searches of all the Reddit posts and everything. Well, it was an Ask Me Anything about Ray Krone, and he was actually answering questions, and it was really neat to see that interaction. I'll put a link in the description that it shows just his, the guy had a right to be pissed, and I mean, like, I embrace rage like that, so I mean, like, I would have been angry. He wasn't, though. He's a good dude, and he's not a bad looking dude now. I mean, like, yeah, for real, like, ladies, I mean, I don't know if he's settled down, but you might want to move down to Arizona and catch you one of those nice little fish known as Ray. Anyway, now I'm going off the deep end. Anyway, but long story longer, this has been the story of Kim Ancona. Now, not a whole lot was known about Kim. I couldn't find many pictures of her, and I couldn't find a whole lot about her. If I do, I will do an edit at the end of this video like I did the Steven Stainer video whenever I came across that new information when I'd long past recorded it. And I hopefully I can get some more information about her, because I don't want Ray and his wrongful conviction to overshadow the fact that his life was taken way too soon by a piece of crap. Kenneth, come on, dude. I'm starting to not like people named Kenneth, but I mean, I can't be judgmental, but I'm not real happy with Kenneth's right now. So if your name is Kenneth, just stay away from me for a while, because what you did to Steven. And now Ray, I guess it's not your fault. I mean, you didn't do it. Anyway, but long story longer, that's the story of Kim and Ray and Kenneth. Yay! I wish that Kenneth was on death row, but he's not. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the story. It's a little bit shorter than the other ones, but I thought I'd give you guys a break, especially since the last one was so emotionally just wrenching. I mean, it took me 3 weeks to get through that video, editing it and crying and, anyway. So I've got some real open and shut, non-emotional cases that I'm going to be covering here the next couple days and doing edits for the next couple weeks. So hopefully we can get our emotions back in line and get back to just some forensics and true crime and all that. Unfortunately, people do have to die on the channel for me to cover them. No, not necessarily. I mean, like the Pollock twins and all that. But, well, no, the original girls did die. Anyway, I'm going to quit rambling, and we'll see you in the next video. See ya!